Thank you so much, everyone, for joining the session today. As you all are aware, that this is going to be a POSH awareness session. This is basically to explore essential practices surrounding POSH policies and learn the fundamental do's and don'ts vital for fostering a safe and inclusive work environment. This is to gain invaluable insight into maintaining workplace harmony and compliance. So we have a very familiar place to take this session for us. That is Shefali. Shefali, welcome to the call, and thank you for joining us. And we
Yes.
look ahead for you enlightening us with the policies and the questions that will be coming up.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Purva. So I think you have already explained to them what POSH Act is. Great. So yes, beyond wasting the time, because I have just told that you have 45 minutes for the POSH session. So I need to complete that. Okay. We'll start the session without wasting any time. Yes.
Okay, sure. Yes.
Yeah. Just let me know when you're able to see the screen, okay?
Sure, sure. Yes, we are able to see the screen.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, we are able to.
Are you able to see the screen? Okay, great. So yes, the POSH Act, that is Prevention of Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act. So see, basically, I assume that you all have attended the many sessions before, right? So you all have a general background of what POSH Act is, but as it is mandatory for an organization who has more than 10 employees to, have the structure of the IC committee, plus to have the mandatory POSH training each year. Okay, so we are having this training session. So see, basically this act was introduced in the year 2013. But before the act was introduced, there were many cases before, which compel the government to introduce an act where, women are protected. Basically, as in, in earlier stages, women were not working, were coming out and working. But as in, when era passed, women started coming out of their houses and they started workplaces. And then there were certain pressures, there were certain situations which made the government think, because, the first act was, the first case was there in US in the year 1975 in New York, where, New York Times ran a story that women police began to speak up. And the first case was in India in the year 1997. So you all are aware of the Vishakha versus state of Rajasthan case, where, Bhavni Devi was a social worker, and then she was raped by a family named Guzar, where she tried to stop the child marriage from happening. Then under the banner of Vishakha, this case, a public litigation was filed with the Supreme Court, and then Supreme Court came with certain guidelines, which are called as Vishakha guidelines, where, the definitions under the POSH Act are specifically given. And then in the year 2012, Justice Verma Committee was formed, and in the year 2013, POSH Act, that is the three main key terms of the POSH Act is prevention, prohibition, and redress. So we're going to look into this act today. So what is the purpose of this training? Is to educate and reiterate employees on prevention of sexual harassment to ensure and create safe and appropriate work environment for all the employees. So basically, the intention behind giving this training is that the employees should feel safe and secure, appropriate, welcome to work in their organization. The employees should feel safe and secure to work in their organization. The environment of your organization, the environment of your company should be in such a way that the employees are safe. Understand what is inappropriate work behavior. So what is appropriate and what is inappropriate work behavior? We'll look into that. Understand what is sexual harassment and understand the roles and responsibilities of all the employees. So basically, what do's and don'ts of all the employees plus the employer. So here, as I said, Vishakha guidelines have, certified or, introduced the key terms. When this case was filed with the Supreme Court, basically it was filed with the High Court, then High Court denied, and then a public litigation was filed with the Supreme Court. So certain definitions came onto picture where, what is, is considered here. So what is an aggrieved woman here? So aggrieved woman is a woman of any age, whether employed or not, who alleges to have been subjected to any act of sexual harassment by the respondent. So aggrieved woman is a woman who, the age of the woman here doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether she is employed or not, because such type of sexual harassment acts can be taken place anywhere. It necessarily doesn't matter whether she's employed with someone. Okay, that can be held anywhere. So here a person, a woman of any age, doesn't matter that she is an adult or she's not completed 16 or anything, that doesn't matter. We have seen in the last month many cases of sexual harassment have been taken place, right? So here the person who suffers from any act of sexual harassment is an aggrieved. Second is the employee. So who is an employee here? So any person working at the workplace on any terms and conditions. So here all types of people are covered. All types of employees are covered. So it doesn't matter whether they are directly employed with their company. So all direct, indirect apprenticeships, trainees, temporary workers, contractual workers, daily based workers, daily wage workers are included under the definition of employee. Okay, even employees, even if they are on contract basis, they are also included under the definition of an employee under the POSH Act. Who is an employer? So basically, employer is a person who is responsible for the management, supervision, and control of the workplace. The person responsible for overall structure of the organization, who is held to take any decision, who has the confidential information, who looks into the overall management and administration of your company, is the employer. And respondent, so a person against whom the aggrieved woman has made allegations, so that can be a male or female. So see, this act itself says that, this act is protected only for women and all that. But the men sitting here or who are in the session might say that, yeah, act sirf women ke liye bana hai, then why we are here and all that. But the thing is, the men should have the defense mechanism. So they should know, if a case is filed against them, they should know whether this is a sexual harassment or not. Okay. Yes. Okay. So whether this is an act of sexual harassment. So, as and when eras pass, companies have come into a gender neutral equal policy, where even if a man suffers from anything act of sexual harassment, he has a right to complain with the POSH committee. So that's why a respondent can be person, it can be a woman also, can be a male also. Okay, a female can file a case against a male. A female can file a case against a female. A male can file a case against a male plus female. So see, last week only I'm handling a case where there are cases of 2 male employees. So yes. And what is a workplace? Every workplace visited by the employee during the course of employment. So office, your canteen, any outdoor training which you go, any clubhouse, your office tour, your office party, transport, during the course of employment, if anything happens, that is also included under the definition of workplace. So if you are going for a project or somewhere, for the company's work to some other city where you're working from there, that is also a workplace. You're working from home, so your home is also considered as a workplace. And what is an IC committee? So internal committee is formed by the employer, a committee which is there to investigate and redress any act of POSH case when it is come with them. So yes, what is sexual harassment? So physical contact and advances, showing pornography, unwelcome physical, verbal or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature, making sexually colored remarks, demand request for sexual favors. So what it includes is taunts, remarks, gestures, and situations that women overlook every day at their workplace. So if you are taunting a person, if you're remarking a person, if you are gesturing a person, if you are taunting related to body shaming or anything, or purposefully, taunting a person, that amounts to sexual harassment. Or, anything which makes the other person uncomfortable comes in sexual harassment. So I'll give an example here, where a woman wore a red sari to her office, and then many of them complimented, and there were some boys, who sang a song that Lal Chhadi Maidan Khadi. right? So such type of comments which are derogatory, which objectifies woman, which makes her uncomfortable. So that woman, she stopped wearing anything in the red color after that. So such kind of situations, which women overlook every day at their workplace amounts to sexual harassment. For instance, staring, flirting, and touching that makes a woman employee uncomfortable. So yes, if you are staring, if you are flirting, basically staring at a girl for more than 30 seconds is also considered sexual harassment under section 354 of the IPC Act. So see, this cases has been filed with, Supreme Court. So that's why, the sections and all this came into picture. So caution, do not cross the line. There is difference between being friendly and harassing. So that's what you have to always, there is a thin line, between being friendly and being over friendly. So please be aware if the other person has denied, if the other person has said no at that moment, please stop. So to summarize, what is sexual harassment behavior is, that is unwelcome. So unwelcome behavior is something which is inappropriate, which is not liked by that person. Anything done without the consent of the other person is unwelcome behavior. Sexual in nature. So yes, we have seen certain examples where, what amounts to sexual harassment. A subjective experience. So what is the subjective experience here is, it depends on a woman to woman. Okay. So see, there are celebrations, these companies have a trend that they have these holy celebrations, they have the birthday party celebrations, they have this trend of putting cake on the face or putting whole colors on the face. Some women may feel it comfortable, some women may not like it. Okay, so that is a subjective experience. In India, it's not normal, when you hug a person, but when you go to any outside country, it is very normal. When you greet a person, hugging is a normal thing. Some women may like it, they feel comfortable, but some women may not like it. So that's what this is, a subjective experience, and it depends on a woman to woman, what impact that creates on her. Okay. Then that's what the second point is, impact, not intent is what matters. So that's what the intention of the person doing doesn't matter. What impact that creates on the female employee matters here. So, I didn't mean anything like that, that my intention was not like that. This men might say a statement that I didn't mean anything like that, my intention was not like that, is not a valid statement to defend yourself. You have done whatever you have done. What impact that creates on the female employee, what impact that creates on that person, how she feels it is important while considering sexual harassment. Often occurs in the matrix of power. So yes, obviously when you have power, prestige, authority in your hand, you are bound, the acts of sexual harassment are bound to be happen. So yes, these are some of the examples of sexual harassment. So see, as you can see in the picture, the female employee is obviously feeling uncomfortable here, leering at another's body or sexually suggestive gesturing, telling a woman employee about the way she dresses up. So see, giving a compliment is a different thing, but taunting, remarking, body shaming, purposefully objectifying a particular object of a body or telling something about that, which makes the female employee uncomfortable, is considered as sexual harassment. Display of cartoons, computer programs, catalogs, etc. of sexual nature, anything inappropriately visible to everyone, as a sexual harassment. Any conduct that has the purpose or effect of interfering with an individual's work performance. So basically harassing and obscene phone calls, verbal abuse or joking that is sex-oriented, or creating an intimidating, hostile or offensive work environment or submission of such conduct. So see, I'll give you an example here where, Mr. A, there's a company, ABC software company, and Mr. A was the head of that department, and he had 3 female colleagues working under him, BCD, okay? So at the start of the year, he used to give these 3 female employees a project, and then at the year end, he used to, promote them depending on the work they have done. So out of these 3 female colleagues, one, Miss B, did a fantastic job and she was promoted. So the other 2 female colleagues, in respite of jealousy, spread a rumor in the company that she was promoted because she fulfilled whatever the boss, that is Mr. A, did. So creating such an environment in the company, because they spread this in respite of jealousy in the organization. So creating such environment, creating such a stressful environment where the woman employee cannot work because she has done her job, very diligently. And that's why she was promoted. But you're creating such an environment in your company, creating a hostile, negative, spreading such rumor in the company. She was promoted because she did that things. Is sexual harassment. So what are types of sexual harassment? Physical, if you go, is unwelcome hugging or physical touching, stalking, kissing or attempting to kiss, patting, stroking, grabbing, pinching, molestation, sexual assault, or rape. These are physical types of sexual harassment. Okay, what is visual? So as I said, staring or looking up and down, staring for more than 30 seconds also amounts to sexual misconduct. Making sexually oriented gestures, showing derogatory objects, pictures, or cartoons, sharing obscene magazines, flyers, posters, or drawing. See, the bandwidth of sexual harassment goes from general taunt remarks to rape. Okay, so this is a bandwidth of sexual harassment things to be happened. Verbal, direct or subtle pressure or repeated unwelcome requests. So see, if there are two persons, like a male and a female, A and B, okay, so he has asked her for a date, but she has denied it at that moment. You know that she has denied it, but you're going on purposefully asking, repeatedly asking for, can you come with me for dinner? Can you come with me for a coffee date? She has said it no, right? So purposefully going on asking her repeatedly amounts to sexual harassment. Questions about personal life. There is always a thin line between being friendly and over friendly. If the other person feels uncomfortable by your questions, yes, obviously that is sexual harassment. Lewd comments about individual's body or sexual activities. So that's what I said, commenting, body shaming, anything by which the other person feels uncomfortable amounts to sexual harassment. Dirty jokes, comments, whistlings amounts to verbal sexual harassment. Unwelcome, suggestive, sexually explicit or obscene letters, emails, invitations. Sending anything inappropriate content, any poem, any message, any card, any social media posting, anything you're posting on Facebook, Instagram, anywhere by which the other person feels uncomfortable amounts to sexual harassment. If we go, these are basically happenings in the organizations, but when you go for online also, sexual harassment, even if you're working from home, such things are bound to happen. So, as you can say, bullying is very normal thing, purposefully targeting a person and going on telling him something. If a male employee is, watching a video of, makeup tutorial or something, the other colleagues of the organization are bullying him that he's, watching a video of makeup tutorial of a female. So that's what taunting, making him in such a worse situation that he will, not be able. So that's what I said, even a male employees also suffer such kind of things in an organization. So nowadays, it doesn't matter whether it's a female or male. So what is forms of sexual harassment? So see, when this forms of sexual harassment comes, there is always a power or, authority in your hand. So what is quid pro quo? Is this for that? So implied or explicit promise of preferential or detrimental treatment, implied or expressed threat about her present or future employment status. Suppose a boss, your manager is, telling you to come for a dinner date and you have denied that, okay? Then if you have come with him if you go with him for the dinner date, you are given a preferential treatment. If you don't, then you are given such a worse treatment in the organization. Or even if you say that you are behaving with me in such a way, you say, that I leave this organization, he will make sure that, even if you're there in this organization, he will make sure that you won't get, the situation will be such that that person will not be able to work. But even if that person leaves the organization, he will make sure that that person will not get employed anywhere. So that will affect that person's present also and also future employment status. And that's what such demands are there, that if you want promotion, you must do dash for me. If you want perks, promotions, long trips, anything, incentives, you have to do dash things for me, as I said. So humiliating treatment likely to affect health and safety. So that's what such a treatment in an organization that will affect the person's, mentally, physically, overall. So creating such a stressful environment where you cannot work with. Purposefully harassing, purposefully giving loads of work unnecessarily. So creating such an environment where the person will not be able to comes in sexual harassment. So what that results into is warning, dismissal, and demotion. So see, depending on the bandwidth or zone of the gravity of the sexual harassment, we have categorized certain zones where green zone, yellow zone, and red zone behavior. So green zone behavior is obviously acceptable. Yellow zone behavior is cautionary. So it's a thin line whether if you cross this, that amounts to sexual harassment. And red zone behavior is always considered as sexual harassment. So you can go through the slides where you will be able to differentiate what is green, yellow, and red zone. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me, please. So yes, what doesn't amount to sexual harassment is performance counseling, encouragement, showing concerns, friendly conversations, compliments relating to work. So if your manager is telling you, kudos, good job, fantastic job, you have done a very nice job, keep it up. That doesn't amount to sexual harassment. Or if he has given you a certain task and you have not done it as per as per he wants, then there is an argument between you both. That also doesn't amount to sexual harassment because he's scolding you because of your work. If he's exercising his management rights, if you're coming late to your office every day, and because of that he's reprimanding you, that doesn't amount to sexual harassment. What is yellow zone behavior? So yellow zone behavior is a cautionary behavior. So if you cross that line, that will be a sexual harassment. So yes, violating space, whistling at someone, questions about personal life, repeated requests for dates. That's what I said. Unwanted correspondence, email, suggestive, purposefully touching, sitting, gesturing, anything by which, giving signals at that moment, that is a cautionary behavior. What is red zone behavior is always considered as sexual harassment. So sexual favors in return for employment. So that's what if you want perks, promotions, long trips, you have to do dash for me. If you don't do for me, giving her a threat that you will be restricted or if you will not get a job anywhere if you leave this organization, such threats to that person. Showing pornography, email, anything like that way. Falsely accusing behind closed doors. Controlling a person's reputation. So that's what I gave you an example. Those female colleagues spread a rumor in the company that she was promoted because she did certain things for him. Okay, so creating such a stressful environment that the person will not be able to. So this always amounts to sexual harassment. So see, as I said, it doesn't matter only that you're working from office and then that covers the workplace. Even if you're working from home, there are certain things, there are certain, disciplines, rules, etiquettes which you have to follow when you're working from home. So what is the first one? So schedule calls and maintain professional timings. So if you have your time zone of your shift or your work hours, please be careful when you're calling a female colleague. Intimate in advance if you're video calling. So before a video call is insisted, please intimate in advance. Okay. Allow the employee to choose their profile picture. You have to not put any condition that you want certain pictures on your profile picture. Okay. Let the person choose. Check your background before putting webcam. So yes, even if you are, having a video call, please check your background. Be careful of what sites you're opening when you're sharing your screen. Respect the privacy of your colleagues. So when you're posting anything on the social media or accounts, please be aware of what you post. Okay. And send appropriate messages. So send messages which are appropriate, which doesn't make the other person uncomfortable. So there was a case with us, where a manager, he was insisting his female employee to, put like red, yellow, green, purple, orange. So these are the 5 colors and I want you to wear these dresses on each day. So certain things when you're working from home, certain types of sexual harassment are bound to happen. Okay. So yes, what you should never do when you're working from home is call or text or at odd hours. So please inform, even if it's urgent, please inform before you're calling. Okay. Insist on switching on the webcam. So unless and until it is necessary, no need. Insist on an employee being entirely visible. So you cannot say that I want you to be seen from head to toe. Okay. Have indecent pictures in the background or anything when you're having a video call. Please, and even if you're sharing your screen, please be aware of what you're sharing. Post sexual comments. So be aware of when you're posting anything on the social media or content. So see, there are certain cases now where I want you all to answer. Calling a woman subordinate again and again in connection in work of a minor nature or to assist in work where her assistance is not normally required. Yes. Do you think this is posh? Yes, guys, please answer.
I think if the woman is comfortable helping the co-worker, then I think it's not. But if it is a consistent thing that is happening, then
Exactly. So if your manager is calling you and he's telling you that, please, Miss A, can you give me a glass of water? Can you put on my laptop? Can you put my phone to the charger? Such things which he himself can get up and do. Then, yes. So second, asking a woman subordinate to sing a song as the manager was getting bored.
I think that is.
That is. Remain close to a woman or try to touch her person.
It is.
Yes. Warning to a woman subordinate to improve her performance.
No.
No, it is not.
I think only Purva has understood the posh. Guys, I want you all also to answer so that I know whether you have understood it or not. Please. Warning to a woman subordinate to improve her performance. Do you think this comes under posh?
No.
No,
Yes.
it is not posh.
It is not a posh, yes. Asking a woman employee to complete the work before deadline.
No.
Yes, that is a no. Changing a workplace of a woman employee.
It is depend on situation.
Yeah, so if your manager is telling you that Miss B, I want you to be seated in front of me because I feel your face is lucky for me, then yes, then
It will fall under sexual harassment.
then it falls under sexual. So, and if the project requires that the people of same, have to be at the same place, then sitting too close to a woman employee. Yes.
Shefali, I'm sorry to interrupt. Actually, we have 4 minutes left for the session. Then the link will expire.
Okay, then what we have to do?
We can continue till the time we can. Maybe for 2 minutes more with the questions. And then...
Okay. Okay, then at least you all answers first so we can go further.
How many more
Sitting,
slides are we?
staring and smiling at a woman. Yes, staring and smiling at a woman.
It is a posh case.
Yeah. Not sanctioning a leave to a woman employee.
Subjective.
Yeah, it is subjective. It depends also on what, if you have the work to be completed, then obviously no. But if you have a reason behind that, then yes. Asking for a favor not related to work.
I think depends on the favor that is being asked.
Yeah. Applying color or cake on face of an employee.
If the employee is comfortable, I think it's fine.
Yeah. Comments on Facebook, Instagram on relationship between manager and his team member.
Again, subjective, I think.
Comments on Facebook, Instagram on relationship between manager and his team member. Why subjective?
It could be in good spirit also, right? Suppose if company has posted something on their Instagram profile and saying that, hey, X and Y make a great team for whatever.
That is fine. Yeah. That is fine.
But
Yeah.
if the comment is in a wrong tone and not
Exactly. Depends on the comment you are posting. Yeah.
Yes.
Sharing of adult dirty jokes on WhatsApp group, the common office WhatsApp group. Yes.
Yes, it is POSH case.
Asking too many questions by the new joiner to HR Spock.
No, it is not.
Giving gifts to the female employee on her birthday.
No.
No. Also depends on what gift also you are giving. Okay. So that is another thing. So yes, these are certain cases. So you see, usually why don't people report? Okay. So when a female or anybody goes into stress situation, it is very hard for her itself to digest. Okay. Then why doesn't she complain, or why doesn't she come out of the POSH? Why she doesn't report is basically she thinks that they can handle the situation on their own. They feel embarrassed, uncomfortable, that nobody will take her seriously, or that's why. Afraid of retaliation. So if she feels that if she complains, the other person or the respondent might do anything to her. That's why she doesn't complain. Think people will not take it seriously. They think that this is very normal culture. This environment allows, the company allows such type of environment. So that's why they don't report. Think that will affect their career path. So not only here, but if she leaves this organization, that if the same POSH things happen there. So that's why she doesn't report.